last night, Jamie Hayter sat down for an interview with Renee Paquette. Quite a good promo segment. It was kind of what you expected. It did feel very acted. Like you kind of could very much tell that Jamie Hayter was acting. It didn't
I
feel
know what you
very
mean.
natural. But even with that being said, I really enjoyed it. But then they brawled. Mercedes Mone came in. They had a bit of a brawl. It went all the way through the arena onto the stage. And this was a really good way to build heat. And I'm going to be honest, Archie, right? In the past, I don't think AEW have done a fantastic job when it comes to building up tournament finals, really. This time, they did it great in the opening segment for Osprey Hangman, but in this one, they did the same for Hayter Monet. What were your thoughts?
I completely agree. I thought it was just made me chuckle when you said, because when I was watching the Jamie Hayter segment, I kind of thought, oh, this was a good promo. As you were talking, you kind of said, it sounded a bit acted, and I kind of like a light bulb switched in my head, and kind of thought that you're probably quite right. Because I felt like something was missing from that promo. I thought there was some good content within it. She wasn't delivering it as or great. She wasn't delivering it too great, but there was some good content in it. But then there was also some confusing content. Like I like the part where she kind of said she doesn't want to be the next Mercedes Moné, and she wasn't kind of going down to Mercedes level. And Mercedes was saying, she reminds me of a younger me or something like that. Because one, Jamie Hayter is nothing like Mercedes Moné, and two, it's kind of a bit like Lyra and Becky, where Lyra's standing up for herself, and Jamie Hayter's doing the same here. The brawl was really fun. I haven't really seen AEW do too many of these kind of things where production-wise, where it kind of leaks into the arena. So yeah, that part was really fun. And then obviously, what I loved as well is Jamie Hayter when she was lining up the clothesline. It looked like it would have been very vicious if Mercedes got hit by that. And then obviously Mercedes came back. It was a bit like a copy and paste of the Lyra and Becky segment, which I'm not gonna say they obviously copied it, but it was like very similar to that. But this match, I'm really looking forward to it. My biggest worry when it comes to this, and it's been built really well. I really like the finals for it. Jamie Hayter and Monet are gonna have a great match. My only worry is that Mercedes Moné is going to win this, because it's taken us a while to get back to that position where Jamie Hayter is now being booked as a top girl in the division again. And if Mercedes beats her, I don't know where she goes from here. And it's really kind of that would be really worrying if Mercedes won, because I feel like Mercedes can go on and do her own thing at All In, maybe face Athena again. But Jamie Hayter, it's taken a while to get her back to this stage since she's returned. And she's one of the best wrestlers. She's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, like on her day, and people forget that. And I can't wait.
You're bang on.
Yeah, I can't wait for when she reminds people that Double or Nothing. I'm just worried that if Mercedes does win, it kind of buries Jamie Hayter a bit in AEW, and I don't know what she does then.
I wouldn't say that. You just need to make sure you have a plan for her following it, right? Because at the end of the day, Mercedes Moné seems unbeatable in AEW, and she's going to be going into a program, if she does win, with the AEW Women's Champion, the biggest feud in AEW history, I'd actually argue at that point. So I think she'd be okay, but to your point, they need to have a plan for her. Otherwise, well, she might not be. Fernando says this was an excellent segment with Mercedes and Jamie Hayter. BJ Dixon says, "What's up, everybody? What's up to you as well? Hope you are having a great day." And number one Superfly says, "Wrestling Trope 101, never turn your back on heels after they run away, because
we've seen it twice over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, they will come running right back on you for a sneak attack." Yeah, I agreed. And I will say this, though, to argue with your point, Archie, for a second. I don't think it was a copy and paste of Lyra and Becky. I just think you could say that about any segment like this.
Oh no, I'm not saying they like copied it, but I'm just saying like it was very similar in that the kind of younger talent is obviously about to get the upper hand on the experienced veteran, and then the kind of, it's the same kind of, and coincidentally they're both horsewomen as well, but but
we're gonna get into the Mercedes and Becky debate again, aren't we?
The most famous unofficial group in wrestling history.
Lord
Mercedes. I was going to say Mercedes couldn't come up with a good comeback, so she was acting unbothered on Twitter. But...
I don't know. I'm still sipping Haterade. I think she did great.
Lord Virus of Noogle says Clark, Archie, and Ben. Shout out to you, Lord Virus of Noogle, over on Instagram. Also, Tan Mei Koshar is saying, "Can you say my name?" Shout out to you as well. Thank you for watching. Fernando says Jamie Hayter is good enough to bounce back from a loss to Mercedes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think it's on her at all though. It's about how they're booked, and we've seen it a lot with where wrestlers have had a big program for the AEW world title, and then they've just kind of gone off into obscurity. Cough, cough, Deanna Prasso. So
honestly, you can name half the division in this happened.
What happened to her matching Tattoo?
Yeah, no, exactly. But I looked at the I looked at the complete roster page of the women's division in AEW. It is stacked, and half of the women aren't even being showcased on there, not even with a video package or anything. Which is so that's the thing. That's what concerns me, is that when you're talking about WWE, they've got 1,000 titles, so there's a different direction that you can always go in. But with AEW, they've only got a certain amount of TV time, only a certain amount of.
I think they have more titles per division, don't they?
For the women's division.
Oh, for the women's division, sorry.
Yeah, no,
that's sorry. Yeah. No, they don't, of course, they do different brands. Ignore me. Ignore me.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Hayter can go and try and face the Death Riders if she wants to. I'm sure she'd mess them up, so.
At this point. But